let's take a look at this is orthographic view number 4, and we're going to start on this top one. All right, so I want you to make sure that you add hidden lines. So again, you know, this is a little bit easier than some of the other ones, but I still recommend that you start at what we would call the 0, 0 on this thing, being the X, and then the Y, and then the Z. So I'll typically start here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll go back the same way. You never want to assume that everything's a full circle until you measure it. 6, 6. I think it's 6 by 6. So what I would then do is, just to verify everything, is I kind of define where the object is in this three-dimensional space. So I'm going to define it. It'll help me. I knew my pencil was going to break. All right. All right, so then I'm going to define this shape the best that I can here. Jake, are you going to do this with us?
Already did that one.
Okay, good. All right, good job, Jake. So we're doing Ortho 4 and 5 today, and I'll demo one from each page. All right, so the easiest thing to do then, when I know where that corner is, it's okay if I come a little too far, because it's just where they intersect is all I really need to know. And hopefully it's at that 0, 0, so cool. All right, and so the reason why I did that, you guys, is I was having trouble. I started to go up, and I wasn't sure where the top of this was. So now that I know where it is, you know, it's pretty, I don't want to say it's pretty simple, but then, you know, this one here is the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So hopefully I'm not confusing you, but all I'm doing is trying to, you can see these cubes back here. So here's a cube. I'm just trying to define where it is in space. All right, so there's a cube. This would be 6 over and 6 up, right? So I know where that is. All right, so then what I want to do, obviously, is transcribe this. So I think the easiest way to do this, you know, it says right. The only, you know, this is a cylinder, so there really is no right and left side. It's just we're going to work off this A, this coordinate here. And so we know that the right side would be looking from here. That's the right side. So I would say right. And then if the A is on the corner, this is going to be the front view. So the front view is looking like this. And then the top view obviously would be looking straight down on this. All right. All right, so there's the top. All right, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. So then what I think the easiest thing to do is, let's go ahead and draw the right side here, because it's right in front of us. So what I'm doing then is, I know that this whole bottom circle occupies 6 of these cubes, these grids, and it goes up 2, right? So I know that because I can see this steps up and goes in. And so maybe it's that but I can see that this is over and goes down. And so I know this is a circle, not an ellipse, because this is an isometric drawing. So there's no perspective. That's why I know that this is a round circle. So then what I'll do is, let's go ahead and start on the right side here. I'm going to just start on the A, go up 2, 1, 2. All right, because if I go back here, that's where it intersects. So let's go up 2. And then I know that the bottom goes all the way across. And then I'll go up 2 here and over. All right, so that's that bottom, what I'm looking. And then, you know, even though you guys think this is a weird object, it's actually a little fountain that the birds go into. And so the water shoots out of the top here. I don't know if you know that. So I have one in my yard. Okay, so we got the little birdies eating out of it, right? Live birdie, all right. So just trying to give you guys some context to all this. And so it's kind of like a fountain without the top. So the water would be coming out here. So the fountain here, this top of the fountain, the base is down there. Then I've got this, and it goes over. I know that it's 4. If I just count from the center, I go into the 3, 1, 2, 3. So the center. So if I was going to go ahead and draw, I'm going to just draw the center line right now. So that's my center line. Something like that. All right. So a little bit more space there. There's my center line. And then I'll just go to the top here, 1 in. Okay, I may be going a little slow, you guys, but I just want to make sure you understand the concept here. All right, so that's that. Jake, am I missing anything on this one, or am I done? I'm done, right, Jake?
I'm
Yeah.
Jake. I say that's done.
Okay. Jake, I'm sorry, but I've got to take points off again for you. You got to show the hidden line here, buddy. All right, so there's a hole where this water's coming out of, right? So do you see that circle right there? Come on, Jake, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm teasing Jake. You know that. All right. Okay, so I have asked you guys to draw the hidden line. So there's a hidden line for that hole, and we are to assume, unless they tell us otherwise, that if there's a circle, that it goes all the way through the object, right? So it's not really fair because I know that you don't, but if there is a hole, we just have to assume that it's going all the way through unless they tell us otherwise, all right? So
I'm curious how, sorry.
no, it's all good.
But I'm curious how it goes all the way, your line goes all the way to 6, because in the picture it doesn't touch 6.
Which
The bottom, for the right side. I noticed, yeah, in that picture it doesn't touch 6.
yeah, so what's happening is here is 6 over here. You've got this dead space in here. All right, this is what's throwing you. All right, so 6 is actually over here. All right, so it's kind of hard.
Oh, okay.
So it's a circle. So it takes a little bit of trial. So I know that if this is the right view and this is the front view and this is cylinders, that this is the front view is going to be identical here. So I'm not even going to waste my time measuring it. I'm just going to copy the right side view because it has to be identical.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, that is my dog, Freya, barking, if you can hear her. Does anybody know where the name Freya comes from?
Norse goddess, correct?
That is right. It's my daughter named her. It's the I think it's like the Icelandic fertility goddess or something like that.
It's the root of Friday.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It used to be Freya's day, and then the English watered it down a little.
She's a very good dog too. So.
Kind of dog.
Well, you know, my former students actually helped me pick her out on the Craigslist. She was advertised as a I was going to show you a picture, but I can't pull it up fast enough. Advertised as a half lab and Australian sheepdog, but I knew that there was some pit bull mix in her, and there's actually no pit bull. So we did the DNA test, and she's American. What's Stratford? It's pit bull, is what it is. Quarter pit bull, but there is some lab in her. All right, so let me see. I I can't get the picture.
A Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah. Which is,
I
yeah.
love those dogs. They're so cute.
But she's a sweetheart. So let me see if I can get my doggy. Okay. She's not this good looking, but I'm going to show you a good looking picture of her. This is when she was a little younger. Isn't that a sweet looking dog? She's a very sweet girl.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The only problem with her, there's my son and her, is Freya likes to eat her poop. It's disgusting. So, you know, we can't be perfect, right? We do the best we can. I don't know if you guys have had a dog like that, but it's really unpleasant.
My dog is like that. He does possums though, not poop. So it's like weird.
Eats possums? Yeah, dogs are funny animals. Okay, so so the reason why I want to do this with you guys, it's really important that you see when there is, so you see that X, that's the indication that's a center mark, right? So that's how I know that's a circle, because if I see that X right here, that is the indicator that that is a circle. This crosshair, and you would only see that from the top or the bottom. You would not see that from the side. So occasionally you'll see students who will accidentally like do a center line and then they'll do something like that, right? So that's a no-no. All right, hold on. I got a student coming in. Come on, Mousy. All right, so you would never do that. So, but you would definitely have the hidden view. So let's do the top. I'm going to try to freehand this the best that I can. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 in. It's a circle.
Come out for 3 minutes.
I can't. I'm sorry.
He wants to trim the base of the tree so things don't mess him.
All right.
I'll make the decision.
Okay, so I'm going to draw the circle here. Not a very good circle. Jake, you could probably draw a better circle than that. All right. Okay, so that's that circle. Then I need to draw another one. So these are essentially going to be 1, 2, 3 concentric circles is what I have to draw here. You are welcome to do this with a compass if you want. I'd actually recommend it. But if you want to freehand it like I am, you can do that too. Just get as close as you can. All right. One more big circle to go. So the reality is I can actually, if I wanted to, I know where it intersects these cubes here, because it would actually be the exact same. It'd be harder to do on this top one, but I can actually see where it intersects on these angles here. So here's where it starts, and I can actually see it's about a quarter of the way here. So I can actually map this out if I was, if I wanted to. I think that's right. Something like that. So I have a hard time not rotating the paper. Trying not to for you guys, but it's easier if you rotate the paper, I think. All right. No pressure, Jake.
Professor?
Yes.
Hey, I'm so sorry if this is like a really dumb question.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Because I'm looking at, because I took this assignment early, but I didn't realize that the center circle goes in all the way through.
Right.
How do you know that?
So unless they tell you otherwise, you just have to assume it's going all the way through. There's no other way. So, you know, and you wouldn't have known that if I hadn't told you. So if you showed me otherwise, that's okay. But you do have to show some depth of that circle because it is by definition, it's going in. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So other thing I want to show you is you want to show the circle is going all the way across. So when you especially three concentric circles, you want to extend this center line beyond it. All right. So, all right. Okay. So that is that. I'm going to just start the bottom one. I'm not going to do the entire thing. I just want to get you started on this one. And then we're going to move. Let's see. What are we doing? Jake, what time is it? Let's see what time it is here. Oh,
5:42.
5:42. Okay. So. All right. So this one, let me just get you started on this one here. So I just want to define this for you. So this is the right side. So that's my right side. This is going to be my front. Because I know, I'm doing that because I know where this A is. And then obviously this is my top. So what I would do is I know that's the corner there. So I'm just going to extend these out. And where they intersect is, right? So. Anybody have a fish tank?
I do.
My daughter, we just bought one. Did you know that Legos, she spent all this time making like a place for the little fish to hang out of Legos. It was pretty cool. But when she put them in there, Legos float. And so she did all this work with Legos. And it doesn't work. All right. So, what I can do, I'm just going to show you one view here. What I'm going to show you is, let's go ahead and just show you the right view here. So I'm going to start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's 7. Oh, come on, Smith. Jake, points off of you again. 2, 3, 6. All right, so 6 by 6. All right, so again, it's basically very similar to this in that it's a cylinder on the bottom, but then it's a half a cylinder, but it is 3 over. So it's exactly going to be the exact same here on the bottom. The only thing is there's no circle from the side, even though there's a circle from the top, there's no hole in it. This one goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it goes all the way up. So it's symmetrical. And then it's over 1 on both sides. And then it's a little tricky because if you look carefully, from here, the circle starts 1 down. It's not a complete circle. So I come over here, 1, 2, 3, and down 1. 1, 2, 3. So that's where the center of the circle is. It's a little tricky. And then it looks like it goes over 1, 2, so 2 units. So it would go to about there, here, and then the bottom, it comes down 2 also. So then it's going to come straight down 1 box. And then it's going to start that circle. So it's going to, circle's going to be here. And notice that I don't put the that crosshair going up. I don't put that in there because the circle stops there. So it's really important that I'm only putting that crosshair on 3 sides. And then because there's no, it's not going all the way through, I don't need to put any sort of indicator, because if I put an indicator like that, it would tell me that that there's a hole in it, and there's no hole in it. So okay, so I'm going to have you do the rest of these 2. And what I'd like to do is transition to one of these now, all right? So this is a bit more complicated. Again, we're not going to do any other drawing activities other than these 2 exercises today. So this is a lot more challenging. I think what I'm going to do is this bottom one, because I think this is the harder of the 2. Jake, does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. Chris, I'm picking on Jake too much. Let me pick on you. Does that sound okay here?
Sure.
Okay, so to answer your question here, so you're going to have the same question. So how do I know how far there's like, think of this as a little tunnel that's going through this object. We just have to assume that this little area here is going all the way through. All right, so it's got this, think of it as like a little shoe, and this is a back heel and this is a front heel. So it's almost like it's a little boot. It's kind of what we're drawing here. It kind of resembles something like this. Not sure if you can see that here, but you're essentially drawing like a shoe. I'll make this a little bit more exciting of a shoe. All right, so think of this as like a shoe that you'd be drawing here. Okay, so you know, this is going to be the top, this is going to be the side. Actually, so it's kind of, this is what I hate about these projects. So this is what it's calling the front, but we'll be okay here. So we're going to call this the right side. So this is the right, and this is the front. And obviously we know the top, all right? So again, you know, I'm just make it easy on myself. I'm just gonna, there's 6 here, so I'm just gonna define this shape. Saves me a lot of time. Go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully they correspond. And then let's just define the overall shape of this thing. All right, so then it goes up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Ian, are you getting the way that I'm doing this with the defining this cube like that before I start?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it helps. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tackle this front side first. So I know that there's this weird thing where it's kind of like the shoe, where you got the front of the shoe, but it kind of goes back. And so you know, how do you define that? And so think of this as like a little house here. So there's this triangle on top of this rectangle. So I know it starts 1 over. So I'll say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then I'm just going to start my line 1 over, and I'll go up 1, 2. And that's going to be here. So I'll just come. So I'm going to, that's that line right here. And then I want to draw this other line. And even though it looks like it's taller, it's only 2 up. And again, it's 1 in. So I'll draw that. All right, so that's going to be the bottom. Now it's got this triangle that goes up 1, 2, and over 2. So up 1, 2, over 2. So that's going to be here. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. So I just connect these two. All right, I'm a little low on this one. All right, and then so it's kind of deceptive because it kind of looks like it's going up, but the reality is it's not going up. It's just going over. It's going over 1. So that line, even though it looks like it's going up, is actually just going straight across like this. So on your shoe, it's kind of like right there. And then same thing on the other side. It's just going straight back. I need to clean this up one more time. All right, so, and then it would come down and over. So it would look like that. All right, so then this is where it gets a little tricky because it comes up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes back. And trying to figure out how far back that goes is really hard. So I'm just gonna like cheat and I'm gonna say, screw it. I'm gonna just do the back of this thing. So here's kind of the top of my boot up here. So I know that it covers one whole row from the top all the way from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to jump to the top, this corner right here, and I'll draw that. And that's that line. And I'll draw this line right here. And then I'll just come down like that. Those are those lines. So on the front view, you wouldn't actually see any of this. You would just, this is all in the same plane here. So all I would really do is, if I'm saying that extends straight out, that's going to be right here. So this point right here is actually right there on the front view because it's just 1 down and it doesn't go down any farther. It just comes out 4. So it's only 1 down. So I wouldn't see any of this. All right. So all I do then is just connect the dots here. So that, even though it looks like it's going much higher, it's only going up 2. So then this line right here is exactly the same thing. All I'm doing is going to connect these two. All right, now the only thing that I need you to do other than this is I want you to show the hidden line back here. So think of this as this area where either the boot where that heel is. You need to show this back area here. So I need to show this line and this line. And the way that I do that is I'm just going to draw a hidden line across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, but I wouldn't see it that far back. All I know is it's 1 up and it goes all the way through. And again, the only reason why you know it goes all the way through is because we're just going under the pretense that if it doesn't tell us a hole, that it's going all the way through. So then I'm going to draw a hidden line like this. Okay, so that hidden line is telling me that there is a cutout back here. Jake, I think Emma, Garrett, Joe, Ian, Haley, I think that's all I need to do on this. Anybody think differently? All right, so I think that's all I need to do. Now I want to draw the side of this little shoe, this little boot here. Even though it's calling it the front, we'll just say, okay, so I could just kind of really quickly get rid of a couple things. So I know that 1, 2, 3 over from A, 1, 2, 3 is this space, 1, 2, 3, it goes up and over. And so this just goes back kind of like that. That goes back and that goes back. And then this line goes up 1, 2. So I'll just go back and up 2. Right, and then I'm not going to try to figure out this slope angle. It's just too complicated. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to now go to the very back of this 8, and then go up. So I'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to go from here. I'm going to just draw that line back, and I'm going to go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I'm not going to worry about that angle. So this point right here is this point right here. All right, this is, all right, so then I know I'll come over 2 and down 1. And then it comes over 1. Okay, so this point right here is going to be right there. Now, I don't really know how far this comes, but I could, let's see, I can try to figure out. So if I go over, I can say 1, 2, 3. So it's at this point over, it comes up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be right here. I think that's right. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And so this is here, but I still need to come up another 2 to show that point. So I'll come up, let's see, that's that one. So I need to come forward, down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it actually should, if I did this right, it should be at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all right, so that looks good. And then I'm just going to draw that line. Okay, and then I need to draw this line right here from this point to this point. So that's there and there. So then the line will go, like, so I'll use a ruler for this, something like that. Chris, Bain, am I missing anything? What do you think?
All right to me.
Think it looks okay? Would you tell me otherwise?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got it. You know, it is somewhat tedious, you guys. I'm not gonna lie here. All right, so let's then do this little top. So I just want to make it easy on myself. So I've got this flat pad over here. I know if I did this, it's just going to be straight up from there. So I can just draw that in there. And it's 2. So, you know, on these things, I find that if you just work with what they give you, like rather than try to figure out these angles, if I can find the point, the bottom, the top, I don't have to count over and all that. I can just kind of go backwards with it and then just fill it in. And I think that's a much easier way to do it than trying to, especially on these angles in 3D, it's really tricky. And so, again, kind of looking down on this, I do know that there's a little corner, a little chunk out of this thing. So that's right there. Same thing on the other side. There's a little chunk taken out of it. So I'm just basically eyeballing it right now. So then I need to draw this little weird house shape, this little triangle, rectangle. So I do know I measured as 1, 2, 3, 4 over from the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And that should line up with the bottom one. That's good. But it actually comes over, starts here. So it should be something like that. And then this line would just come straight down like that. All right, Chris, am I missing anything on this top view, do you think?
Yeah, you gotta do the hidden lines
Oh.
for the bottom of the shoe.
Did you print out the answer guide, Chris?
Not, but I started with the top view, so.
Okay, if I find out you did, I'm taking points off Jacob's drawing, okay?
Sounds fair.
I think that might be it. I went rather quickly on this one.
It looks exactly like mine if that makes you feel any better.
Okay. Should that make me feel better? I'm kidding, Joe.
Points off for Joe.
Yeah.
It's up for Joe. Okay. So I don't want to throw you in the deep end, you guys, but what I'd like you to do then is finish these two exercises on your own. So you're going to have to kind of, I do think this is the hardest one was the bottom one. So I don't feel like I'm throwing you to the wolves. But you know, you just want to use the same principles that I'm using. Again, I wouldn't try to draw these angles. I wouldn't try to figure that out. I would just figure out where the bottom one is and then kind of go backwards and then come back in and figure out where that is. And then, you know, you're not going to see, this line is just going to be straight across. You're not going to really, it's just going to be flat, but you are going to see this angle and then this angle, right? From the front, the right and the front side. So it's, think of this as kind of like a brick, a piece of stone, a square stone that got its corner just chipped off. So this is like a little, the rectangle normally would come all the way over and down. So it's just like a big chip taken out of it. So I'm gonna leave this one up to you guys and such. So are there any questions before I cut out and just stick around and try to help individually? Okay, so let me just put these both in. If you want to take a screenshot of these, if it would help you, certainly go for it. Maybe I can take a screenshot. I am recording this, so you can just use this as your reference too. Okay, so let me stop the recording. Oh, that's not what I want to do, but I will stop recording.